Do we see alts top in Q4 2025? I think so. I do think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see XRP, SWI, and Solana just lead everything. I'm not a financial advisor. These are more viable platforms than they've been in the past. These are things that people are using. And especially when the AI gets going, and look, I'm kind of out on Fetch right now. I'm liking I like ICP, but Tau and Near, those are two layer 1 AI blockchains. So you should definitely go look into those. So still set for April 1st for the end of the bull run. I think the top of the bull run, because and look, it's going to be really interesting what happens if let's say we hit 140K and then we hit 139.9 on the second run up, and we don't, we would call it a double top, but technically that would mean that the bear market would start at the peak. But I think pretty much people would still look at it, especially if and this is what could make things really interesting. Max Santana's point, which is if Bitcoin doesn't reach another all-time high, but altcoins make the total market cap get to another all-time high, that would kind of offset things. We'd have a hard time talking about it. We'd have to say that the bear market began after the altcoin season. But if Bitcoin doesn't get close, right, we would actually start looking at potentially 2 different kinds of waves for altcoins and Bitcoin in these cycles potentially, which would make sense eventually. Oh, what's up, Doug? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Guys, smash the like button. Number one thing you can do, smash the like button.
Oh, by the way, Doug, he's I got him in my corner. He's coming out to Dubai for the
fights.
Oh,
nice.
So we'll see him again.
Yeah, nice. I got my cut guy. Who's a very special cut guy, he made my mouthpiece and hooked me up with the guy that made I'll just call it my Sultanware. That's what I'll call it.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, he's going to be in my corner. He's a really good cut guy. And he says, when you're fighting a tall guy, you want to make sure you got one, and see how important a cut guy is.
Oh,
you saw in the fight, the girl fight?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Best job ever. I mean, that was an amazing job that guy did. Just such a shame that she lost when she really won that fight by every barometer.
More punches thrown, landed, power, all that stuff. It was a clear.
And all her bleeding was from headbutts.
Right.
So come on, guys. Anyways, that was a very embarrassing job by the judges in that fight, I believe. But
that whole thing was a disaster.
But it showed you how important a cut guy is. And then Tyron Woodley. Tyron's going to be in my corner.
Boom.
So, oh, my guy T Wood. 3.36 trillion. Oh, man, that's a nice number to see, man. That's a good number. That's a great number. Wow. 24-hour volume, $300 billion. Bitcoin dominance, 57.2. ETH dominance, 11.9. That ETH is sliding. ETH's done. Those institutions, mark my words, those institutions, they are going to just pillage you all that hold on to ETH through the cycle. They're just going to pound you and destroy you and make you feel like you're just so dumb for holding Ethereum when everybody else is making money in every coin. Even Bitcoin is crushing you. I'm looking at you. What's my guy with the glasses name? Ryan Sean Adams. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you you guys that built your entire empire on ETH. You need to start moving over to something, unless y'all want to be like, I don't know, the institutional, the podcast that hedge fund guys listen to. I guess, I don't know. But that's a good audience. There you go. But that's all that's going to be there, because the retail people are out, completely out on Ethereum. I have a really hard time with coins that are on Ethereum figuring out, I think you got to move. You got to get off there. It's a sinking ship for, if you're not enterprise or institution. Enterprise or institution, they've got their niche carved. They've got their ETF now. Franklin Templeton just got their Bitcoin Ethereum ETF. They got that pushed until 2025 now, when we'll get an answer on that potentially. So that sounds good, right? Like, oh, it's great for ETH. Right. Do y'all not? They're doing it again. They do it every time. This is what TradFi does. And they're going to do it again to Ethereum. And there's no doubt. I think there is still some value in holding some Ethereum because of the institutional adoption. It certainly, in the next bull run, could potentially rip again. Who knows? By that point, its use case will be fully realized. Nobody will be thinking this is a thing we do NFTs on anymore.
Question for you, coming in from Abdullah. Should we be focusing more on timelines rather than the Bitcoin price? Remember last cycle?
all of my kind of measurements here, we should be looking at the rippage going from the middle of December to the middle of January. Now,
He's a thinking, it's a thinking bit boy. Ooh.
You know what I thought about?
What did you just think about? That was wild.
Let's go to the charts.
Did you just have an epiphany?
I think so. Well, the reason why I started thinking was I thought to myself, you know, the last time we ripped in between the middle of December and the middle of January, December 19th, I think, or so, or 18th, 21st, maybe it was the 21st all the way into like second week of January. What if it just moved back 1 month? We see that a lot in these cycles, and it doesn't always make sense when it happens. Okay. I want everybody to understand me on this. It doesn't always make sense when it happens, but if you can catch that pattern early and you can see what it's doing, it usually will complete that same type of pattern. That's why I love looking at these cycles over cycle. And I think that if you look up here at this and you look at kind of where we're at right now, you know, it started ripping like right here, but it's like the rippage. Yeah. I mean, look, actually, it does look kind of similar a little bit now we're really looking at it.
That little like wedge that you see taken out right there.
Yeah. And this would put us. Yeah. Golly.
Jam.
Where does it put us? Where does it put us? Where does it put us?
I say right about where like the 22,000 range is on this chart, on that chart, right?
Yeah, about right here somewhere.
Yeah, like in that little, just above that. Little
yeah, but see, we're just,
area.
it's not, well, okay. Like, let's say it shoots up to 120, comes back down to 100, and then peaks back at one. Hey, look, it could go 150 or 160. It could go there on a stretch. 160, maybe 150, 160. It might could do that. It might could do that. But then that only gets us to the beginning of the bull run, which is perfect. Look, I actually think this is pretty accurate. I think this is pretty accurate. I think this is pretty similar to what we're probably going to see. But the most accurate thing so far, it has in fact been my lines that I drew. And I think that it's really important to kind of, I want to make one note before we move on and actually go look at the top gainers of the day. I need to go back to single pane, man. That was double painful. Okay, single pane. One thing to pay attention to here is that while my lines have, man, they have been followed so closely, there is potential that we could see here the white line, because it flips these lines, it hovers around, but it looks like it right now, it could be kind of flipping this into support potentially.